For our second day of verifying, we're going to take a look at a couple problems here. So verifying day 2. So let's say we have the, and there isn't anything in your note packets for this. So 1 over the tangent of b plus the tangent of b equals 1 plus the tangent squared of b over the tangent of b. So as we can see here, we have a single fraction over here and two separate terms over here. So what I'm going to do is make a common denominator over here. So tangent of b plus the tangent of b, but I'm going to multiply that times the tan b over the tangent of b equals 1 plus the tangent squared of b over the tangent of b. And if we do that, now I have I should say I have a denominator of the tangent of b and a numerator of 1 plus the tan squared of b, 1 plus tan squared of b over the tangent of b. Alright, another one we're going to look at. Let's say we have cosine squared of x minus sine squared of x over 1 minus the tangent squared of x, and we need to prove that that's equal to the cosine squared of x. So first thing, let's see, I see a lot of sines and cosines, so let's rewrite here. Tangent squared of x minus sine squared of x, 1 minus sine squared of x over cosine squared of x equals the cosine squared of x. Well, once again, I need a common denominator, so cosine squared of x over cosine squared of x. So now we have on the numerator is still cosine squared minus sine squared. Denominator, we now have a denominator in the denominator, a denominator of cosine squared. On the top, we would have cosine squared minus sine squared equals cosine squared of x. And now we have to multiply by the reciprocal. So cosine squared of x minus sine squared of x times cosine squared of x over cosine squared of x minus sine squared of x equals the cosine squared of x. And then those reduce out. So we have cosine squared of x equals cosine squared of x. Now we're going to take a look at a couple from your assignments. So let's see if you can pull out your assignment packet. And the first one, so we're going to take a look at one from yesterday, which we didn't do. So day 5. So let's take a look at number 8. So if we rewrite this, we have 1 plus sine of x over cosine of x divided by sine of x plus cosine x equals 1 over the cosine of x. And I notice we need to make a single fraction on the top, so this one, cosine of x over cosine of x, the number 1. So now we have cosine of x plus sine of x, same one we just did, over the cosine of x, divided by the sine of x plus cosine of x, equals 1 over the cosine. And then again, we're going to multiply by the reciprocal. So cosine x plus sine of x over the cosine x times 1 over sine of x plus cosine x equals 1 over the cosine of x. So 1 over the cosine of x equals 1 over the cosine of x. And then we're going to take a look at a couple from the second day. So I know for sure we're going to take a look at 5. This is a tricky one here, number 5. Let's see, if we rewrite anything, and I'm just going to cross that out so I don't rewrite everything, that would be 2 over the cosine of x. So I notice here I have to have a common denominator. Well, we know if we have like 2/3 plus 3/5, it's going to be 15 because we multiply this 5 times 3. So to find a common denominator, it's kind of like 5 times 5, 3 times 3, that number 1. So over here, I'm going to have to multiply 1 plus the sine of x, 1 plus the sine of x, times this original part we have, 1 plus the sine of x over the cosine of x, plus cosine x over 1 plus the sine of x. But over here we need a denominator of the cosine, so times cosine over cosine equals 2 over the cosine of x. So now that denominator, we have 1 plus the sine of x times the cosine of x. And this numerator is this entire thing, so I'm going to start multiplying this out. 1 times 1 is 1. 1 times the sine is the sine of x. Sine times 1 is sine of x. Sine times sine is sine squared. And then over here we have plus the cosine squared of x equals 2 over the cosine. Well, let's see. One thing I noticed right here, this is the Pythagorean identity. That's 1. So 1 and 1, so we have 2 plus 2 sine of x's over 1 plus the sine of x times the cosine of x equals 2 over the cosine of x. Well, we're close. I have a cosine and a 2, so somehow we need to get rid of this 1 plus sine. Well, we can factor here. So 2 times 1 plus the sine of x, factored out the 2, 1 plus the sine of x, cosine x, equals 2 over the cosine x. Those reduce out, so we have 2 over the cosine of x equals 2 over the cosine of x. And one last one. Let's see, let's take a look at maybe this one. So let's see, cosecant 1 over the sine minus the sine divided by sine of x. And we're going to leave that one. That one's pretty easy. Actually, let's have you guys try the rest and then let me know if you have any questions.